So exciting that we're all in the movie, all of us. So like the movies that you watch where there's like the resistance and there's the bad guys, and you want the resistance to win because obviously you don't want the bad guys to win. Well, guess what? We're in the movie right now, all of us. That's hilarious in one sense of the word, but it's actually the truth. And this is easy for me to come to that conclusion because, well, hey, I'm kind of sitting in this like base type environment telling you now that as the resistance, you need to step up. You need to stand up for what is right, for what is just. And we don't need violence, so like the movies depict. We just do it with honor, voting to agree to end the suffering and to create abundance for everyone, which we have the power to do. My name is Truman. My surname is Truman. Many of you watching this will be very, very familiar with the film The Truman Show, which is a great depiction of the mind control and manipulation upon the planet. But obviously within that story, the character is played by Jim Carrey. So my middle name is James, and my family for many years called me Jim. So again, there's another synchronization there. But what you got to realize is that the movies, they tell you things and they reveal truths to you, but you just see them as fiction. You don't pay attention to them, and you find them entertaining and you get entertainment value from them. But what they're actually doing is they're telling you what's going on. And it's what you do with that information, really, that counts. And now it's time to sort of snap out of the hypnosis and realize that we are in the movie. There are people dying every minute for needless reasons that we have the power to actually stop. And if you think that there's too many people on the planet, what? Are you insane? Are you actually insane? This planet is huge, much, much bigger than anything you would imagine, and we can all live very abundantly upon this planet with 10 times over the population. We rightfully don't want to be living how we were living because that was sucked anyway. So, of course, we have got all the technology we can untap when we don't have the limits and the restrictions that centralized government have been placing upon us to keep us suppressed, to oppress us. So you are watching this now and you are part of the resistance. It's time to be activated into the role, and you start by just learning about GPMS, the Global People's Monetary System. It's GPMS.world, and you register your voice. It's an agreement. Yes, it's a registration, but not in the sense of the word of registering, and if you're like got hold-ups on like the words registration or consent or agreement. We've got to have some base principles here that we can actually be aligned on for the good of the people. When we're talking on behalf of the people, for the people as the 99%, all of these words and terms, when we're using them in the right, correct, just way. We're not making up words or manipulating people to make, to get themselves into further trouble. No, we're here, the guardians, to actually save people, to save humanity, to bring abundance for everyone. All of those hold-ups that you've got, oh, it's a nice idea, but it's impossible, it's never going to happen. Oh, I don't like these words. They're all excuses, people. They're all excuses. I'm a guardian. I've come to this planet to do what I'm doing right now, which is spreading the word, bringing people's vibration up, realizing that there is a heaven on earth scenario just here waiting for us right now. Many of us are actually really experiencing it in a certain degree because we're able to just live in a high vibration way, not paying attention to all the news, mainstream or alternative. We're focusing on creating the beautiful world, being within the beautiful environment around us. But we know that we need to save humanity because it's a holistic situation here. We can't be fully abundant and happy knowing that there's so many people, the vast majority of people, not. And that's the difference between the 99% and the 1%. Because the 1% don't care about that. All they care about is themselves. The 99%, generally speaking, are very caring, loving people. And we just want to love and be loved and enjoy our environment, be fulfilled, abundant, play, enjoy, spend more time with our family, have a better balanced life. And that's what the GPMS.world is bringing everyone. And all of the skill sets are within the 99% to make that happen. We're already the ones delivering it through the disguise of the need to have a government, which we don't need. So it's time, guys, to step up to the plate. Because every single minute that you don't step up, there's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of people dying needlessly around the globe, around the world, on the flat earth, if you're a flat earther, whatever you want to perceive, this place where we exist to be, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that we basically enjoy our existence to the fullest, and we do that through helping everyone. That counts. The 1%, we don't need to worry about what happens with them, what's going to happen with them in this new world. Don't worry about that. Focus on actually just getting everyone this message and getting everyone to actually just give their voice, their agreement, their accord, which is concrete, to say, I'm a sovereign human being, as is 99% of people that have had restrictions placed upon them that are not living abundantly because we don't have the financial freedom to be abundant like they do. And we actually all agree that we should be able to travel freely across the planet without passports, without border controls, and live wherever we want to be and share our time with whoever we want to share our time with. And we don't want to be enslaved in 9-to-5 rat race, which is actually now growing, and people not being able to retire because they're stretched. I mean, look at the older generations. I mean, what kind of future have they got to look forward to? And if you don't find this impacting you enough right now for you to be bothered, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for you to be impacted so that you're in a place of misery. That's actually going to affect your physical health and your mental health. No, it doesn't make any sense. Do that. Act now and do that by submitting and giving your agreement. You're not submitting to a power other than your own power. That's what you're submitting, is your own power and agreement. You're claiming and making a stake saying, this is my power as a sovereign human being with the 99%. We are all sovereign. We all have the power collectively to unite and take things forward, advance humanity forward. You are a guardian, just like I am, to do this, whether you recognize that and see that or not. So you have to basically step up to the plate now, because who you can actually share this message with and influence into realizing this situation, what we're in, and waking people up out of their hypnosis, because you need to, because 90% of people are living in their subconscious most of the time on autopilot through the programming and the distraction, which is perfectly understandable when people are hopeless because they don't know that there's a solution. But we've got the solution, we've got the divine plan within GPMS. It's GPMS.world, but it's Global People's Monetary System, which is the key to financial freedom for every single person, individual, upon the planet. But then there's actually the divine plan, which is the simplified law, which just basically simplifies everything. Do no harm, right? That's all that really counts. And we know that. All you sovereign groups out there, you know all of this. We don't try and sort of go into the court system and, which has been created, and legal system that's been created to suppress and oppress people and extort money out of people, because we don't need to do all that. all we need to do is actually come together and say, right, well, we know what's right and what's just and what's honourable, and that we're sovereign beings, and that we agree that everyone should be able to enjoy life and exist abundantly, freely, and move freely and speak freely, and not have to follow these ridiculous, like, kind of rules of all kinds, you know, that actually are harmful, yeah, and are stealing our choice as a sovereign being. We agree on all of these things. You agree on it. You already agree on it. You're talking about it with other people. So all we're talking about is uniting in one place, because together as one, that is how we get things done. That's how we get things done. And, you know, when we get to this place of actually implementing a situation, which we can do very, very quickly once we've got the voice collective with over 1 billion voices worldwide, and that will happen through your contribution, you know, because I'm talking to a lot of people here. I'm hoping that you're going to wake up after this and you'll actually be one of the major contributors to actually share this widely, because I'm doing it. I'm sharing it every single day. Like, this is what I know is going to be good for everyone, and it's going to be an amazing place when we get there, when everyone is just so happy and fulfilled, and we don't have these people extorting us anymore with their control, because they won't have any control over us, because we'll be abundant. We're literally dismantling their structures of power, so they have no power. They can't manipulate anyone. When you're as wealthy as them, how can they do that? They can't. And, you know, of course, it doesn't matter whether there's military and you think that they're going to get involved and stop this. Once the people speak in such a big way, which is visibly seen on the GPMS website, you can see the voices, the registrations that are coming in by country, and the total as well worldwide. Once you see there's billions of people, like 2 billion, 3 billion, that have said, yes, we agree with this divine plan and this simplified law and for freedom and abundance, you know, a lot of those people are going to be in the police and the military, and of course more people will have obviously recognised exactly what GPMS is. They're recognising it for what it is, which is for the good of everyone, and they're just going for it. And then it's all about just implementing it. It's that simple. It really is. It's like, this is not rocket science, guys. Like, everyone can figure this out. Children can figure this out, and they are figuring out. In fact, they don't have the limitations because they don't have the programming. So, you know, if you register your voice and your children's voice, and you get your children to speak to their friends and get them, because they can do it. They don't have to be 18 to get permission. We're giving the children their freedom and their sovereignty. They're sovereign beings as well. So they can be spreading the word like wildfire, because they want the heaven on earth scenario. They want the Garden of Eden on the planet. They want life and everything to be beautiful. And we can do that when we don't have the restrictions. We can actually do all the hemp farming that we need to clean the air quality across the planet and create all of these sustainable natural products, because we're the people and we'll have the power to do it, and no one will stop us doing it. But until we actually step up to the plate, realize that we're in the movie and we're the resistance, but actually not even the resistance, the guardians, we don't need to resist, because we are empowered ourselves with our voice and with the 99% to say, hey, there's billions of us out here, and there's a very few number of you. What are you going to do about it? Just like if there's one bully in, you know, a school of very happy, fulfilled children that are not bullies, right? Is that bully going to pick a fight in the classroom with anyone? Because obviously he's just going to get targeted, and he would just be eliminated straight away. Of course he would, just by the sheer numbers. He won't do it. Nobody's stupid like that, right? So just think of all of the things that have been perceived to be impossible before they became possible. You know, Henry Ford's story, right? He actually was told by his engineers when he was trying to build or design, or having designed the V8 engine, that it was impossible. This was a new form of engineering, and it was impossible. He was told that repeatedly by his engineers, and then he just said to them, don't come back to me until you've built that V8 engine. I don't believe in the word can't and it's not possible. And so they built the V8 engine sometime after that. So, you know, he built a car out of hemp. Who knew about that before he did it? Completely out of hemp. Ran it on hemp biofuel. Who knew about that before that happened? What is he like? God or an angel? No, divinely information is given to us. I'm not going to get into the metaphysical stuff, but essentially you have it. You have ideas. You are a receiver of information that comes to you. You have to use your consciousness to actually think about it. You have to bring yourself into that consciousness and actually think. That's how you learn. That's how you discover the truth about everything. That's how everyone who is discovering the truth is discovering the truth, because they've actually thought about something that started to trigger that awakening process, because they started to, use that critical thinking. And the critical thinking opened up their brainwaves to receive more information that came in to make them come to that divine reality or recognition of, okay, this is what's going on, right? Well, that definitely doesn't make sense. I know that doesn't make sense. I actually know that, because in the heart, that's where you know when things are true, right? So we've got it in us, guys. We're here for the purpose. We've come here for the purpose because most of us, in one way or another, weren't completely happy in ourselves ever, because we always knew on the subconscious that there's people out there suffering. Nobody wants to see anybody suffering. Why should we have a world where you see suffering, where you see charities are necessary to ask people for money, begging people to help? We shouldn't have money in this sense where we obviously are limited in it, and then we can't provide everything that we can to everyone that needs it desperately, and service them and service humanity and make everyone feel happy and fulfilled. So granted, there is a shift in one's perception of living in a new, completely different realm. But that is going to be the way, whether you like it or not, because the elites have got their shifting that they're doing, which is to bring you into a completely new paradigm. And you already know how uncomfortable and how you do not want their reality, because we know what their reality is. It's looping everyone in the same slavery, the same savagery. We know what they're up to. We know that they don't care about people and that people are suffering and dying at their hands. Yeah? And who are they to actually choose who lives and who dies in that sense? And to go through this unnecessary pain and suffering. So that's my message. It's a message that is a world message. I'd love you to send this out widely to people, and start by getting yourself into action. Look at the website, register your voice, get on the YouTube channels of GPMS, watch the videos there, watch the Rick Dewar's video where he gives us a special overview on it, where he answers a lot of the questions, and we do Q&As where, again, a lot of your questions can be answered. And does every single fine detail need to be worked out right now about where we're going? No, it doesn't. You don't worry and focus on how and then that stop you. That's not intelligence. Anybody can come up with reasons and excuses as to why you cannot do something. That's not intelligence. To pick faults and pick gaps and things and say, well, you haven't thought about this and blah, blah, blah. Anybody can pick faults with anyone and what they do. What you've got to focus on is what we are doing and what we can do and what we will do, and the fact that actually all of the skill sets upon the planet, in the 99% of people, will bring all this. It doesn't matter if you feel that you do have unique attributes and skills and are valuable as a divine being upon this planet. You are beautiful and you are unique. You are. You don't have to worry about whether or not you've got the skills to kind of do administration work, which would help with organizing certain things, because there are all of the people out there in lots of administrative roles that have those skills that will do it. You don't have to worry about that. All you have to worry about is doing what's divinely right, just and correct. Honorable, which is the right thing to do. That's all you have to worry about. And you'll learn new things, as we all do, all the time. Whatever motivates you to learn things, when you're motivated, you learn. So it's like, well, what do you really, really want to be doing with your life? What passions have you got? that you would like to have time to be focusing on, and not be doing it so that you can make more money and you can live comfortably doing something you love to do, but just doing it because you love it and you want to keep on doing it. That's why you should be doing anything, really. And okay, yes, there may be things that we would be doing which would, in a new world, which might not be exactly what we would imagine we want to be doing, but actually when we start creating more and more things because we have the technologies untapped and they become interesting, we want to keep our time busy with different things, and variety is the spice of life. So a lot of those mundane, boring jobs, they'll actually be interesting anyway, because we'll be creating new ways to make them interesting, and everything's simplified. So we don't have to have the complex systems and structures that we've always had, because those have been created complex deliberately to make it difficult for people to break out of that old system. So please do share this message. Do register your voice. Don't get hung up on these words, these terms, these phrases, because we're the 99%. We're on your side. We're doing this for the people. There's nothing there for you to get hung up on about. That is part of the trickery. Look how they're manipulating your mind to stop you uniting. And we know that it's divide and conquer. It is their technique, their strategy for maintaining power. Get over it, people. You've got to get over it. Seriously, we haven't got any time to waste. People are dying unnecessarily all the time. Things, when it gets round to winter time here in the West, in the UK, in Europe, it starts to get really cold, and more people just don't have the money to be able to afford heating. We can get there in a blink of an eye, people. We can make this go viral very, very quickly. But we need as many people sharing it as possible to do that, because as you know, we're being censored on Facebook and on these platforms a lot. These are great platforms to be able to get the word out, but we have to work collectively, quickly to do that before things get shut down. You start sharing this widely very quickly, of course, I can imagine that soon, it would start to potentially, they're trying to suppress it, but we've got other ways and means to connect. Obviously, we've got Telegram, we've got all these other platforms, right? So just start sharing and start getting together and actually coming together and actually having fun. This is an amazingly fun thing what we're doing here, because we're talking about creating a beautiful world that is going to take us out of this insane world. And everyone is going to have abundance. It's going to be beautiful, beautiful. So there's nothing to hesitate about, and it's actually extremely exciting what we're doing, and we're just going to be able to create something so beautiful, and we are creating something so beautiful already. We are the creators of this reality, and we just got to focus our energy on the positive sides. And all of the stuff that you're sharing, that you have been sharing, we don't need to worry still about these people that are still seemingly completely asleep, because once we have the majority of people that are awakening in their own ways, and they've actually agreed to what we're doing, and the numbers are showing that, those other people will be forced to sit up and realize, hang on a minute, there's a lot of people here who are actually agreeing to this. Why is that? Well, let me look at this in a bit more detail. A lot of people are followers. They need to see what the numbers are doing. That's how the governments obviously manipulate data to manage perception, to get people to agree to their ridiculous shit. Sorry, don't want to use that word. Ridiculous stuff, because that's how they manage perception. People think that everyone's on their side or in agreement, or the majority are in agreement, but they're not. But that's how they're managing perception. So what we're doing is we're not manipulating anybody, but we are being completely transparent, showing the visibility of the numbers growing, which is important, because that's how confidence grows that this is really happening. This is a real movement to bring change and a completely new, all-inclusive system with a referendum, a worldwide referendum. That's what it is. With a very simplified way of doing everything, and with the untapping of all the technologies. All the heirloom seeds that basically need to be brought back because we don't want any of this GMO stuff. You know, all of this spraying in the skies, all that stuff you're focusing negative on. You know, these are all the reasons why you need to be taking action really, really quickly, for sure, right? So, but you don't need to worry about that. You know, now you just need to worry about us just getting it done, and we can get it done really quickly, very, very quickly. So, you are unique, you are a powerful being, you are here for a reason. Your reason is to bring this amazing heaven on earth scenario. It doesn't matter what you believe in, if you're religious or anything like that. We are creating a free society where people can freely be what they want to be, who they want to be, believe what they want to be, as long as they don't do any harm to anyone. That's the whole point. So let's get together, let's have an amazing time, let's just get excited, let's raise this vibration, make people realize, young and old, that we've got a beautiful future to look forward to, and it's going to happen very, very quickly. We could just get there in a blink of an eye and be there. And got to take the action. You've got to take the action. Don't hesitate. Get on board. If you've got money in the bank, if you've got 200 grand or whatever in the bank or more, don't think that you're safe and you're okay, because who owns the bank? Who owns the internet? Yeah. What happens when they decide to switch something off?